everybody. Welcome to the Knitting
Come
Place
close
podcast.
to me, Dinah.
Am I too
You're
far?
too far away. There you go.
We'll give you a room.
We like closeness.
Okay.
Hey, Dinah.
Hi. So welcome to the Knitting Place podcast. I believe it is podcast.
We finally hit it.
Is it 20?
20.
Woohoo!
So much for our. We were going to record right before Vogue or right after Vogue. We did right before Vogue.
We did right before Vogue.
We were going to do right after Vogue.
There was no right after
no,
Vogue.
No.
No. We were just too exhausted.
Too busy.
That was a crazy show.
Yeah, Vogue is always a tough show because we're vending there, so it's a lot of work.
I mean, it was a month ago.
Well, you know what it is. You're right after
like
January 1st. It's like full speed ahead. We're just doing Vogue, really. I mean, we're in the shop, of course, but
yes, it's hard to juggle both.
Right.
It really is. And then I was sick, which you all know.
Oh, that's right.
So it was a tough January, and then coming off of Vogue, we're still unpacking stuff from the show.
I said to Diana yesterday, Diana, do we have any more brown vegan pom-poms?
It's terrible.
Right.
Oh my God, my hair. Guys, I can't
Anyway.
even put my hair back behind my ears.
Why, Dinah?
Because Leno's out of the country.
Dinah was just telling me she had a hairdresser's
God.
appointment this morning.
No,
right?
I tried to make one.
Oh, I thought you had
I'm
one.
so vain.
Oh.
I didn't have one.
She was going to get her hair done.
Right. I gave up yoga to go get my hair done, so I worked out
Only
at home.
to Dinah's surprise. Oh, but you did work out at home.
I worked out at home.
That's
I didn't
good.
do my yoga, though.
That's good.
But that's okay. And I'm texting, Leno, can I come in this morning?
No Leno.
No, Leno.
Where's Leno?
He's in Europe.
God bless him.
I know, right?
Hmm.
I should be in Europe.
Well, what you should do, did you make an appointment for next week?
No, because he's in Europe. I have to call the shop, actually.
Because he's
I should
only
call the
gone for a
salon.
week. He's only gone for a week, I heard.
I'm really due for some color. Need to tame down this color after the sun. I feel like I've been oxidized.
Well, that happens.
Like a carrot with major gray. Okay, enough focus on the hair. Next.
Can't help but focus on it when you're looking at yourself. Right? Next, anyway, so that was Vogue, and then we came back, and it's just been busy,
Thank God.
with one
been
thing
nice.
or another. And
Should we talk about Vogue?
yeah, let's do.
Vogue was exciting.
I think it was probably. It seemed to me one of the biggest Vogues in terms of attendance,
Turnout,
and
yes.
vendors.
Yes.
There were a lot of vendors there.
Yeah. A lot of people.
Mhm.
Crazy busy.
Mhm.
I did not get to really leave the booth. I left briefly.
I think you left more than I did.
I mean, I left for the restroom.
Right, but they were quick
Bathroom break.
visits. Yeah, they were
I
quick.
went to, I had to pick up my special purchase that I ordered from Katrinkles.
Yeah, see that I didn't know about.
I had that. That was on my to-do list. And then I wanted to go visit Stephanie at Asylum Fibers, but I missed her. She was lunching at the time that I went. And that's really it. I didn't get to shop, unfortunately.
Well, you did get something from Long Island Yarn and Farm, but that's
Oh,
only
yeah.
because she was across
right
from
across.
us.
I used my megaphone.
It's only because she was across
Hey,
from us.
Tabitha, can you set me up? No, I did the Golden Hour shawl. That's right. I was really very excited about that. She had some colors that were
her
back
yarn
ordered.
is lovely. Yeah.
Have not cast on yet,
What color
but I will.
did you get?
It was a pale pink.
Mm-hmm.
I believe
Cream?
it had a shimmer.
Okay.
And then I did, is it the plum or the brown? I think I did the plum.
Okay.
And there was a medium shade. Like a lot.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's not pretty.
three
That's
different
nice.
colors. Golden Hour. I need to, I got the 6-pack.
Oh yeah, she had.
Yes,
It was
and
very
I got
cute.
the
She had
beautiful
a
glass.
she had a little bar set up with like
I
a
had
6-pack.
the stemless wine glass.
Yeah.
With
Does
her.
it come with a glass?
It did.
Oh, it came with a glass.
Yes.
I
if
didn't
you
know
got the
that.
6-pack, you got
I
the
saw
glass.
you had the 6-pack.
Yeah.
Was
She
was the glass in the 6-pack?
No.
Or was it separate?
Separate.
Oh, I
She
didn't know
gifted
that.
it.
It's very cute.
Yeah, so that was very sweet. So thank you, Tabitha.
Well, I walked around. My daughter came in on Sunday.
Okay. Audrey came in to visit.
Towards the end of the show, and we went downstairs to the 5th floor. And at that point, it was just.
How was the 5th floor?
I'll be honest with you. I didn't see much because, I walked down there and I looked at the aisles. And again, that's what I mean. There seemed to be so many aisles downstairs. Did they squish some of the things
I feel
together
like
to
there were
get
a
an
lot
extra
more
aisle or
vendors.
two in there?
There were a lot
And
more vendors.
I looked at Audrey and I said, "Oh, Audrey," I said, "I can't do this." I said, "There's too many rows." We walked quickly through. I didn't even see, there were 2 yarn shops from Long Island that were vending downstairs. I must have walked past them, but I didn't see them.
Knitting Cove and Yarn Shop and the Knitting Garden.
I didn't see them. I did stop at Stephanie's booth.
Okay.
She was busy with a customer at the time, so I didn't speak with her. I can't even tell you what I saw downstairs.
So I had gone
all.
down to Katrinkle's, and I literally, she was right in the corner.
Yeah, I saw her in
so
the
I went
corner.
in and went out.
Yeah,
I
you didn't even
really-
have to go in to get to Katrinkle. She was all the way at the
She
front
was
in
right
the
at
corner.
the front by the
Yep.
door. So convenient for me anyway.
They even had like Magpie.
They were
was
outside.
Was outside the actual.
They had a lot of vendors.
And
yeah.
they had a whole long wall down there.
A really nice
Yeah.
spread.
So they seem to have really more vendors. More indies were there.
A lot more indies.
More indie dyers were there. But it was fun.
It would be nice if vendors had an extra hour before the show. Like, if we
So
opened an
vendors
hour-
can shop amongst vendors.
That would be nice.
Like on Saturday, the
It would be
fifth
nice.
floor can come up to the sixth
It
floor
would be
on
really
Sunday.
nice. That could be fun.
That's a good idea. You
Yeah.
should tell them, Diane.
So if you're listening, Vogue Live, BKL.
But it was fun. We saw a lot of customers we see every year,
Returning
Vogue.
faces, lots of new faces.
right?
It was so nice.
And you had the frame from Paige the Framer, which was nice.
definite
Maybe you
shout
can
out
post
to
a
Paige.
picture.
I will definitely
We have
pick one
pictures
or
of that.
two. I'll try to insert some pictures here from Vogue. That was definitely a hit in the booth. Paige was very sweet. She let me borrow the frame.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just fun. So many people took pictures. I
Yeah.
hope that all of you who did take
Share
pictures,
them.
if you have not tagged Paige the Framer, please do. Hashtag Paige the
Right.
Framer.
That
I'll
would
put
be
it at the
lovely.
bottom of the screen. She would love to see the pictures, and it
She
was so
would.
gracious of her to mail it to me.
Yep.
And I am really very grateful. That was a fun little
Yeah.
thing that we
That
had in
was
the
fun,
booth. We
yeah.
had the ladies from East Bostry Co.
Oh, yeah.
Can't thank
Lisa
Lisa and
and
Melissa
Lisa.
enough for
Came
stopping
by for
by.
a-
Yes.
Greet and meet up on Saturday.
That was nice. Always lovely having them around. We got to spend some time with them while they were here for the week. They
Right.
came to Long Island. They
Oh,
visited
that's
the
right.
shop.
We had dinner with them.
That was a lot of
That
fun.
was fun. It was freezing that week.
Yeah,
That's the week it was so
cold.
cold, right?
We got to have drinks with Miriam at the bar.
Oh, we did. That was so
Yeah,
much fun.
that was
Miriam
fun.
from Chelsea, one of the Chelsea Pearls, right?
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it's funny because she was out having a drink, and we
Well,
should
she
really
was
meet
sitting.
them.
She was sitting at the bar. What
No,
happened?
no, I'm saying she did
What?
a separate Instagram post. We should meet up with them.
We should. Well, why don't we meet
With
in Manhattan?
Exactly. So we're sending an invitation via podcast.
Christina and Miriam, we
Let's
want to
meet for
drink with
drinks.
you. Let's meet for a drink.
So that would be fun.
Yeah, that
we
would
saw
be
Kathy
nice.
and Heather. We
Yes,
had
from Knot House,
knit
yeah.
night with Christy Glass.
Well, that was fun
at
too.
Bureaucracy. Yep, Long Island City. That was a lot of fun. Actually,
And while we were at that was Knit Night, right? We called
Knit Night.
that. Yep. We met. We had the pleasure to be sitting next to Mr. Hugs.
that was fun.
And Mr. Hugs he's been on Christy Glass's channel several times. He was
Manch.
one of her Manch interviews, I think,
Yes.
last year. I think it was last year. And he does a ton with cables.
He does terrific design work. He
Mm-hmm.
developed these large needles.
Like size 100s.
Yeah, huge.
Do you have a picture
circular-
of that?
I think I have.
We have
I
a
have
picture
to go
of that. You
through-
should
I have to
insert that.
the needle. Yeah, I have to insert. So that was fun.
That was
And
fun,
We
yeah.
also got to sit with other people at the table, which was really lovely.
Yeah.
One of Christy's friends from Rhinebeck.
Oh, yes. She was lovely. Yep.
And then who else did we meet? We saw familiar faces there, of course. So that was fun. What else did we do? What did we do Friday night?
Friday,
We're going out of
we were at the
sequence, yeah.
bar. We were at the bar.
Oh,
with
that was
Miriam.
right.
We,
With
after we
Tabitha
set
and
up, we
Tony
went. Yeah, we went with
And
Long
Joanne.
Island.
Yep. We were with our
Local Long
crew.
Island crew, and then that's when we saw Miriam, and she joined us for a while. But Dinah and I, some people stay in the city. Since we're on Long Island and it's easy, we go back and forth. So we drove home.
Technically, it's easy.
Well, we're probably 20 miles from Manhattan, if that much. So, and of course, the times that we're going back and forth, there's really usually no traffic because it's early in the morning and late in the evening.
Right. It's definitely a buzzkill.
Although we did hit traffic Saturday morning. There was a tractor
That was
trailer that
crazy.
overturned on the expressway.
That was horrific.
Yeah, and we were so ahead of schedule because we had things we needed to do, and of course, that just killed
We
it.
arrived on time.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
God we were trying to get there early.
Right. And what else do we do? Saturday night we did the knitting. The
Knit night.
The knit night.
And then Sunday, last day of the show, which was actually quite busy.
Yeah, Sunday
It
was
was
the busiest Sunday we've ever had at Vogue.
It really was. It was nice. It was a good flow on Sunday.
It
I always
was, yeah.
find Sundays to be the best days Friday seems to be a frenzy. It's like they open the
Saturday is crazy.
Well, when they first open the doors to Vogue, though, it seems like
It is a
who
frenzy.
let the dogs
right.
out,
Yeah.
And then Saturday is just the aisles were so packed. People were saying that they couldn't even walk or.
Yeah, I would not have the patience for that.
I mean, we have a different perspective being on inside the booth, but even being in the booth, constant flow of people, and it's great energy. Everyone is so excited. The double booth, I thought, I was nervous about the double booth, but we seemed to carry it well.
Yeah, I think it worked well. It worked well, the double. Yeah,
lots
there's always every year we do it, and there's always some way you can.
I always
improve.
have angst.
Well, it's very hard because I mean, what was our whole thing that week, right? I was like, bring it with you. And it was like, no, I have too much. Bring it with you. No, I have too much. But in any event, it always ends up working out, and it is fun. It's a lot of work, but it's fun. And then Sunday night, we packed up, which is a process in and of itself, right? Your daughter was there. She had to take an Uber back.
We didn't have enough room.
We didn't have any room in the cars with
so
all the
much
stuff.
Not realizing how many trips we've actually made in and bringing additional stuff because you always have those customers who will have special requests. And I guess one of the advantages of coming back home is we get to revisit the shop and bring things that we may not necessarily consider bringing to the show, but we have the opportunity to go back and get.
Right.
So we did have quite a bit of stuff, and we did take an extra Uber. That was funny.
And then we went out for pizza.
Yeah, that was fun
to end the weekend, right?
Yeah, we still need to do celebratory dinner.
We do. Well,
Yeah,
we can
I
do
owe you
that.
that.
Well, you don't owe me that.
Yeah,
but
I
it's
do.
always fun. You can have your dirty martini,
Yes,
and I can have
I always
something.
don't like Lushes.
No.
Anyway,
that was our Vogue.
yes. Unfortunately, I mean, you've heard it all.
Yeah.
You've seen it all.
Yeah,
It's
and
kind of
again,
like
this is
been there,
from
done that.
a different side, from the vending side. So we really, unfortunately, did not see a lot of things. Of course, you had
I
a
enjoyed
picture
the
taken
posts.
with Stephen West. You saw Stephen
Yes, I
West.
did.
That was nice.
I kind of grabbed him as he was passing.
He was walking.
through.
Well, you know what it was? He was going up on stage with, what's the other gentleman's name? The other guy's name? They were throwing out the yarn. The male, he's a designer. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Josh Bennett.
Thank you, Josh Bennett.
Yeah.
And our booth, Dinah's
It's
booth,
Yarn
is
Toss.
right by
It was
the
right before
stage.
Yarn Toss, I think it was. Or was he
I
doing a
think it was
fashion
around-
show or interview?
He was, it was at the same time. He was being interviewed up on stage, and then they did the yarn toss, and that was crazy, right, with the yarn toss? Oh,
was
my
fun.
God.
We're, like,
Crazy.
right there. Right on
and
the
everyone
edge of
comes,
Yarn Toss.
and they even come into the booth
I know.
to catch the yarn,
We had a few people. I think I caught a skein, or
You did. You caught a
and I
skein,
gave it
and you
to
gave
somebody.
it to
Yeah,
somebody. Yeah, it was
that
fun.
was fun.
Anyway,
All right, so next, let's move on.
Vogue recap done.
Yeah, next.
What's been going on?
What's been going on? Well, where should we start? Do you want
You
to start with FOs?
Yeah.
All right. FO.
Look what Dinah's got on.
Woo! I've got my Cowboys
gorgeous
and Angels.
color.
Should I take
Which
it
we
off?
saw Isabel Kramer at the show.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God. That was just amazing.
Yes.
Paola from Mayak was so gracious. She brought over Isabel Kramer. She introduced me to Isabel Kramer. It was really very gracious of her. I was admiring the shawl, and there was a gorgeous sample that was knit in the Mayak yarn. So I think it was the medium.
Yes.
Right? The
yes.
medium base.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, I really wanted to get over there to see it, but I didn't get a chance to. And Paola was gracious enough to introduce me to Isabel because I was so excited about
Yeah,
the
it was
shawl.
lovely. Mhm.
And I had to cast on as soon as I had a free moment right after Vogue, and here it
How
is.
gorgeous is that?
So this is it, Cowboys and Angels.
It's got your little lace insets, and it's got
The lattice
little
stitch,
bobble
the
work.
bobbles, yep. It starts with
Now,
it.
Dinah, tell them the story how it got the name Cowboys and Angels. Didn't
Oh, so this
Isabel
was
tell you
nice.
that?
Yes, she was traveling actually. She picked up the yarn and she was in Nashville. And I believe, I think the colorway that she had cast on with, excuse me,
Was
I
it
think it
this
was,
color?
no.
It was
It
like
was
that.
Yes, I think she had used, her original color was pollen from Hedgehog.
Oh, was that right?
Yes, and she was in Nashville. And she was, I think, trying to buy cowboy boots, I hope I'm saying the story right, to match the
Color of the yarn.
colorway of the yarn of the shawl. And it was just, I guess she was just taken by being in Tennessee and being in Nashville. She called it Cowboys and Angels. So it was very
It's cute. It was nice meeting her.
It was lovely. And I love her designs.
Yeah, her designs are great.
We are definitely Isabel Kramer fans here.
Absolutely. There are so many of them.
Yes. So her shawl, actually, we came back from the shop and I put some shawl kits together. Yeah. We have a few people knitting them. They're already done with them. Yeah. So this colorway, of course, sold out right away.
And it's a DK weight shawl.
DK weight. It took 4 skeins. I don't know if you saw my Insta story or any of my posts. I don't know if I might have been a little loose, and I know that's strange for me, Pam. But it called for a size 7 needle. It called for 4 skeins, and for some reason I only had a yard or 2 left of yarn.
Well, you used Madeline Tosh DK.
Madeline Tosh DK. That might have less yardage, a little bit less yardage than the Hedgehog. I don't know the exact yardage, but it certainly was enough.
What's that color again?
This is Glazed Pecan. It's on reorder. In fact, I don't know if it'll be here by the time this podcast airs.
But if not, shortly after.
It'll be the following week. So if you do have a special request for it, you're always welcome to call the shop and pre-order.
You know what I like about it is that, nowadays, of course, I'm wearing a shawl that's got, color change. But it's nice that it's one color.
Yeah, but Madeline Tosh, I don't know if you could see it, but they're shading.
Yeah, but it's still it's just one. Yes. You're not doing any...
There's no color work.
Blending or...
There's no melting. There's
which
no color
makes
work.
the design in the shawl, I think, stand out even more.
You really can appreciate the bobbles and the lattice stitch, the garter, the ribbed edge.
Yeah,
I love this shawl. It was really fun to make. And you can go back on my Instagram and check out one of my videos because I did a 1-row bobble.
You did? That's right.
That's right. You knit backwards and you don't have to turn your work.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to not turn their work?
But you know what? Interestingly, I did get a DM, an Insta message for those of you, direct message on Instagram, requesting that I do a video posting how to make the bobble with turning the work.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. So they wanted me. So that was
funny. I was doing the lace class the other night, and Marianne was doing a bobble, and it was a 3-stitch bobble.
Just like this one.
Yeah. I don't know how she made that. There's so many different ways to do bobbles, right?
Of course.
But then Grace was doing another square in the lace book, and she had to make 7 out of 1.
Oh, wow.
And the challenge to that...
Is it a knit one yarn over or knit front, back, knit front?
Like knit front, back, front. Now, hers was a knit yarn over.
Hers is in Marianne?
Yes.
She's not sitting there.
Yeah, well, I'm pointing to where she... Marianne, that's her honorary seat. She sits there. Anyway, but the challenge that Grace had was that all you do is you increase from 1 to 7 and move on down the row. When you come back on the next row,
that's when you
purl 7 together.
There is
7 together. Well, a chore, which is why one of the gals
that's not that fun.
Well, one of the ladies in the class who's a tight knitter.
Ooh.
She omitted that square because she just couldn't get the 7 together.
Yeah.
And she says in the book, what you need to do this square, you need pointy needles.
I know, but I would take a spare, like a size 1 or 2 double-pointed needle and literally feed it through.
Right. So to get it through.
Yes.
Well, if you
lift them off, you actually have the space to, like if you had a size 0.
You'd have the space to pull them through.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's
crazy.
Isn't that crazy? So it says, and you need to be... when you do an increase, you knit in the front, you can kind of pull it up a little bit. I said, because Grace, you'll never get 7 in there. That's the word, elongate the stitch.
Definitely.
But anyway, talking about bobbles, isn't that crazy? Because I'm looking at it and saying that she's not doing anything with these.
4 together or knit 3 together.
Well, I had that on the
that's also
Jared
I'm
Flood
tight.
blanket that I did.
That's also because I'm tight.
Yeah, it is. He did knit 4 together.
Right.
And it was either knit 4 or knit 5. I don't remember now, but that was a challenge.
I can't imagine 7.
What I would do on that was I would do the row.
Did Grace omit it?
Grace is doing it. Jane omitted it. Jane omitted it, but because Jane is a very tight knitter.
It's like, I'd be all thumbs with that.
But what I did on the Jared Flood piece, he has the one yarn. It's almost like feather and fan. You have the one row that has the yarn overs, the knit 2 togethers, whatever. And I knew where that stitch was going to occur. Well, when I would come back on the purl side. So when I was doing it on the right side, I made it extremely loose so that when I came back.
That's smart.
Yeah, because it was...
you had the foresight.
Because otherwise it just gets very frustrating.
Too tedious.
Right.
Way too tedious.
Anyway. Some technical
knitting. So that's an FO. Did you bring your FO?
I don't have an info.
Yes, you do.
What?
The
Lucy?
crown.
I couldn't find it, Dinah.
Oh, no.
I made Lucy, I'll show you on my phone. I made Lucy, I know my phone is here somewhere, right? Where is it? I made Lucy a
crown.
A crown. I
A
saw it
knitted
somewhere
crown.
on Instagram, a knitted crown, and she's always wearing headbands and hats. So I thought, let me make her a crown. So I did it. I had some of the pudding yarn left over
Mm-hmm.
from a vest that I had crocheted her. So I did that. I'll show you. It's in my photos, actually. I have a picture of it in my photos, and I'll show it to you.
Did you like it?
She wouldn't put it on the day I made it. And Emily said, right, it really depends on the mood that they're in. Right?
She's entitled. She doesn't have to wear it.
Yeah, exactly.
But
So, here it is.
She usually does wear it.
She will. I'm sure she will. Is that glare? You got that, Dana? Yeah, that's better. Isn't that adorable? It's a little.
Bit of
It
a
looks like a
shadow.
blanket edging, right? Doesn't
Very
it look
cute.
like a blanket edging?
I'll put
So
the name
if
of
I
the
can
pattern
get
on
it,
the screen.
if I could get a picture of, it's free. It's an easy thing. It's called Circlette.
Will you send it to me so I have it?
Yeah,
for
by
my
Danny
notes?
Sunshine. What a nice name, Danny
That is.
Sunshine. And so anyway, we'll get a picture of Lucy with it at some point. So I did that. That's really the only thing I've finished, I have to say. I have not finished anything else.
All right. Well, I did finish a couple more things.
You did.
Well, I did do a test knit. I did a test knit for Tracy Miller from the Grocery Girls. I made the Prairie Mittens, which I'm absolutely in love with. They're so nice and cozy.
What
Ta-da!
yarn did you use for those, Jenna?
I used Madeline Tosh DK paired with Silk Cloud. I don't know if you could see the halo. There
Was
it
that
is.
mineral that you put with that?
I used Mineral for the Silk Cloud,
Mm-hmm.
and I used Smokestack
Oh, nice.
for the Tosh DK.
Nice.
And if you are interested, we have kits online. I think they're called Prairie Mitten kits.
I think, yeah.
But you can come in or
Cool.
just really select any. It calls for a DK weight yarn paired with a mohair. So I just did a couple. I went for some neutrals.
Did you use Magic Loop on this?
I used Magic Loop. Tracy recommended Magic Loop, but she also said you can use your favorite method.
Around, yeah.
I found that was very useful, the Magic Loop. She did a beautiful gusset increase here.
That is
And
pretty.
you have this section in pattern, and then you have the palm done in garter stitch. So keeping the two stitches separate, it was kind of nice having it in Magic Loop because you had it half and half as opposed to fumbling between many different needles.
And you also have this nice turn-in with
Cute,
the picot.
adorable
Is that
picot
a
edge.
picot edge?
It is. How feminine is this little edge? I am in love.
How cute is that?
I have to make another pair.
Well,
I don't know
the
what
nice thing
color,
about
but
this, a mitten like this, is
They
there's
really
a
keep
lot
you
of
warm.
learning. First of all, you could use Magic Loop, which is a new
You can actually
technique.
learn the technique because in the beginning,
Mhm.
it's a fold over cuff. So
Mhm.
in the beginning, you're doing about 6 rounds in Magic Loop before actually,
Doing anything.
yes.
Yeah.
And then you're learning the technique with the picot edge, with the hem. You are learning, if you haven't done it before, the gusset. Very nice instructions.
Has
very
some
well written.
decreasing going on in
Yeah.
it, right?
Love the pattern stitch and the shaping, and it's just lovely. I
very
had so
soft.
much fun making them. I did it.
Didn't take
I
you
made
long.
them quickly.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was fun. I was afraid that I might have second
I was
maiden
just
syndrome, but I didn't. I didn't.
Just thinking of that, Dinah.
I really didn't. I think maybe because it was on a larger needle.
Yeah.
I
Well,
made
it's
the
also-
size small, and I find it a little bit roomy. I'm wondering if I were to make it again, if I would use a smaller needle. But mittens aren't meant to be tight.
No, they're not meant to be tight.
No, and
They're
I
not.
noticed that when I wore them, they really kept my hands warm, and
They
probably
do.
because they're not so snug on my hand.
Well, remember what Miriam said when we did
They're so
we did a
squishy.
live one day, and you were mentioning these mittens. Miriam from Chelsea Pearls was saying they're great for outdoor recess because she's a school
yes,
teacher,
That's right.
and I do outdoor recess
You
also.
should make a pair.
And remember I made those mittens out of mecha from.
Yes.
I always
I
use
can't find mine.
You can't find
No.
them. No, I have mine. I use them because the mittens keep your hands when you're outside for an extended period of time warmer than a regular glove does with the fingers.
Just something with the wool and the mohair.
Yeah, it
Delicious.
much, and the other reason you finished them probably more timely was because you can use them now.
Yes. And I did. They were fun.
Now, me on
I
the other
enjoyed-
hand, I still have my Hohi socks
You said finish them. I
from
want to do
last
socks.
fall. I'm done with one. I just have to do the toe, and then I have to cast the other one on.
I want to make another pair. I don't
We
know if
should
I
do a
should make
pair of
another
socks.
pair.
We should do a pair of socks, and we should do
Well, I
like
asked
a
Trey-
different heel, like to do the fish. What's it called? Fish kiss, fish lips, whatever it's called, heel, and the one that I think you put the yarn on like you mark it with a piece of waist yarn.
The
and you go
afterthought
back.
heel.
Well, that's the afterthought heel.
Right.
I'm so confused.
There are so many ways to
Yeah.
do it. But in any event, she was very gracious. She gifted me another pattern. I liked her other pattern of mittens
Which
that
one?
she has.
Oh, another mitten pair. I would like to
think
do
of Hastings.
Hagaliano socks.
Yes,
That's what I would like
Yeah.
to do. Those socks look nice.
they look very nice.
Yeah.
So anyway, those are my test knit. And I do have another FO.
What's that? Oh, your hat.
Yes. Well, I didn't make this one. This one, Barbara was very sweet. She made this for the show. It's the Mitra hat. And Jake loved it, and he wanted one, so I made one for him.
Jake is her son.
Oh, yes. Jake is my son, if you're watching for the first time.
Actually, there's
He's
a
my
nice
eldest.
picture of him wearing the hat on Instagram
Yes, I'll have to insert
from a few
the
days
picture.
ago. Yeah, that's a great picture.
He's so cute.
He looked great
He
in the
was
hat.
heading to Barcelona. There's a show that
Oh,
a
really?
tech show.
Oh, nice.
And he sent me a picture. I think it was from the airport. It was him wearing his hat and a scarf.
Oh, was
and I
that the
knit him-
picture that you
No.
posted?
A different one.
Oh.
That he surprised me at home. But the one, he personally sent a picture of him wearing the hat and the scarf. And he's like, I'm wearing all my knits for Mom. He's like, you're traveling with me wherever
That's
I
right,
go.
that's
It was
right,
very
that's
cute.
You know, it's
Very
funny you
sweet.
talk about knitting. You know who needs another scarf?
Who?
Tyler.
Really?
Yes.
What happened to the Tyler
Now, I'm
scarf?
trying to say this because my family, you don't know, you might not know this, Diana, they always make fun of me when I say his name.
Why?
Because I have, of course, a New York accent.
Okay.
If I said it the way I would normally say it, it sounds like
I-
Tyler. And so the kids now will say it. My kids say to call him Tyler. Because
the R?
I dropped the R, so I'm trying to say Tyler.
The rolling R at the
Trying to
end.
roll my R so I don't get made fun of. But anyway, I made him. What was that stitch, Dinah, that I made him? It was like,
Knit and slip.
yeah, what was that? And I changed colors every two
Yes.
rows, and
We called it the Tyler.
we called it the
scarf.
Tyler scarf. But he really wears his scarves a
That's so
lot,
nice.
and he'll even wear them around the house. He'll walk around the house. He puts his hat on. He wears a hat around the house. So anyway, but
Well, Jake, make the one that I made for Jake and ours.
yeah, I don't know
And
about
Zach.
you. What should you make for them?
I'll show you.
I
All right,
don't
you continue.
But anyway,
Telling
so
the story.
I don't know. Well, you know, the problem that I have when I made that scarf for him, it was more than a year ago now. He's 6'4", so when you make a scarf for a tall guy, I mean, how long did it take me to knit that scarf? And that was a slow-moving stitch because 2 rows made 1 V. Was it a brioche?
It wasn't a brioche.
It wasn't a brioche. It was like this slip stitch. It was a Pearl Soho
That's
pattern, I think.
that one, but it's folded over. Remember, it has that stitch.
Yeah, but I can't see what's the rest of it look like.
It has the ribbing at the bottom.
Oh, I don't remember that.
This is the picture he sent me. He's wearing his hat and scarf.
He's at the airport?
Yeah.
Well, that's nice. You see,
He
they
wrote, "Love my
appreciate it. So
knits."
you knit
Yeah,
for them. So now this
very
is
cute.
Tyler's. That was his second scarf. And so now I'm going to have to. And I better start making it now. Because you
If
know
it's going to
me.
be for Christmas, you
Well,
should.
for next winter. Even just for next winter. You know, it hasn't been for Christmas, but
Did
he
you one of
needs
the
another one.
cashmere kit hats, scarves, the ones
I
from
probably
Jane?
have to use 2 kits for him.
Oh yeah, they're not that long.
Right. He needs it to be long. He wraps it and he's tall.
You know what's just a nice yarn? The Simply Natural.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great one.
Yeah, and I don't want to be on a size
No, that's
4
like
needle
on a
either.
9.
Right. Well, we'll have to come up with one. But in any event, so that's
Stay tuned
my
for the
scarves.
new Tyler. scarf.
Tyler, not Tyler.
Alrighty.
Well,
So
I have
those
a
are
finished,
all-
but I have a finished object that I'm wearing that I didn't
Yes.
that I didn't knit.
Right. We spoke about it,
Oh,
but
we did.
Yep.
Oh, I forgot we did. You're right.
we did. But Barbara, once again, thank you, Barbara.
Yeah,
With
that's a
this
good
lovely,
picture of it. That's a good picture of it. Slow curves, right?
Slow curves.
From Hohi. And again, we used Madeline Tosh Light,
Yes,
and we changed. You remember the colors?
4 shades. I do not. I know this is Dubrovnik. I don't know.
the color.
Night and Chili.
One is
another
a secret something or
something.
Friends.
Another woman's treasure.
Yeah, another woman's treasure. That's
Mhm.
right. Yep. Anyway,
I mean, if I thought hard enough, I could probably, but
yeah,
I'm missing one.
but it's a nice shawl.
It's lovely. And we did make a modification in the sense that instead of
Yes.
buying a second skein for one of the
The
colors,
third color. For
Right.
the Dubrovnik. Dubrovnik
Right.
is the dark color.
we kind of joined it in a little early because we
Right.
ran out.
Yep. The third color is the one that you'll use the most of.
Right.
Which is
You'd never know, though, if we didn't tell you.
Yep.
So, if that's in your queue, you can easily do it with 4 skeins and still have plenty of
Right.
left over.
Right.
Alrighty.
What's
Whips.
next? Whips.
Do you have your whip?
I do have.
You have a couple of whips.
Where is it?
I only
Here it
brought
is.
one.
My whip is. I don't know. No, I didn't mention it the last time because I started it after Vogue, and it was inspired by Lisa. Correct? Of East
Yes,
Space. She was wearing
absolutely.
it. She was wearing hers.
She's made several, I think.
Yes, I think she, and that's really the depressing part. She made one since I saw her.
Are you kidding me?
She
She
made that-
finished?
She finished it. She was wearing it, and I'm so
She's
depressed because I. This is called a pattern called Half Mitered, and I'll tell you who it's by. And it's done in sections. This is the first section. This section in here.
The triangle?
Yes, this part in there. Then you pick up and you work this. You don't pick up, but anyway, you work it. And now I'm currently working on an identical one on the other side, and then there's something up here somewhere. And it has, if you want, you can put a tassel at the end. By the
Do you
next
bind
podcast,
off these stitches?
I have no idea.
Oh, you're not
I think
there.
I knit them.
Look at how pretty.
And I used, do you want to, I think the light's better on your side, Dana.
Madeline Tosh DK. It's a beautiful color.
Yeah, there you go. It's called Grace Notes, which is a very pretty color. It's coming out a little washed out, but it's a pretty color.
It's got a beautiful speckle going through it.
Yep.
Different colors. It's kind of hard to capture, but it is very pretty.
And I did do, between my first and second skein, I did a Russian join.
Oh,
So-
do tell.
I did. Right in there somewhere I did a Russian join, so I don't have an end. Now this end is here because there is one end somewhere over here. Somewhere.
Right there.
Right, yeah, right
I
there.
pulled it. Mm-hmm.
Because I had the yarn cut from the other side and I joined it
Okay.
on this side. So that's there for that one. But this is a fun pattern, and we'll tell you who it's by.
Is it a easy knit, or do you have to know what you're doing or keep track of your
Well,
rows?
it's all garter stitch, so it's easy.
Mhm.
But they do a short row thing on either side. So once you commit it to memory, it's
What
not
kind of
difficult.
short row? I'll tell you why I'm asking.
Well, she goes across. Let me try to remember now. I'm on the other side now, so I've got the other one in my memory. She goes across, then she comes back, and then she does a little bit this way, and then goes back again.
No, but is she doing just a regular
Oh no,
garter
no
stitch?
wrap and no wrap and turn.
Okay,
There's no
so
wrap and turn.
the reason I'm asking, I mean, how many different ways? Just when I thought I
Oh, I
learned them
know.
all.
Oh yes, you were telling me that.
So I'm doing a Japanese short row
yes,
on my whip.
yes. And what is a Japanese short row?
So it's similar.
To a German short row?
It's similar to a German short
Mhm.
row in the sense that you're creating. Oh no, it's really not similar.
So what do?
You're doing a yarn over stitch.
So
wrapping
you
the
knit
yarn
to a certain
around-
point.
You're knitting to your short row.
Yeah.
You turn your work. You create a very tight yarn over,
After you turn your work.
and depending on whether you're
You
on
bring
a
it
knit
to the
size,
front or you stay
exactly,
in the
or a
back.
purl side, you slip the stitch either with the yarn in front or the yarn in back. Just let it run.
Okay.
So
So then what do you do? What do you do with the yarn over when you come back to it?
depending on the direction that you're going,
Yeah.
you're either knitting it the yarn over together with the following stitch with an SSK or a knit two together.
So you would
depending on
SSK the yarn over?
together with the next stitch. So closing that gap.
Oh, and that doesn't make a hole.
No. I
And what
have
do
it
you
here.
do? What's the other way you do if it's not an SSK? What do you do?
Knit two together.
And how do you knit them together? Just regularly?
I think what happens is if you were on a knit two together, I don't know if it's the knit two together, the yarn over stitch is first, and then you knit it together with the next stitch.
Oh,
Oh no, it's
No, it can't be.
interdirectional because either way,
right.
the yarn over I think is first or second. I don't remember
Mhm.
the order.
So it is either SSK or knit two together,
Mhm.
depending. Well, that's interesting.
But that's
that
for
doesn't
shaping.
that doesn't seem difficult. That
Well,
almost seems
it's not-
easier than
It's
the
not
German
difficult,
short row.
but you do have to wrap. They tell you to wrap the yarn tightly around the needle.
It's almost like the double stitch.
Yes, where when you do a double stitch, you want to pull tight so you get the two.
The two strands.
But
yeah.
that yarn over has to be tight, I think, otherwise you get a little bit of a hole.
Okay.
So
Is that used on this?
it is.
Oh, okay.
So I am knitting rug.
Tell us. Aren't you doing the Christy
Yes,
Glass
I'm
Knittle?
doing the Christy Glass Clinton Hill Cashmere knit along.
I love this sweater.
I do too. I'm knitting rug, which is coming up backwards, but it's from Junko Okamoto, and I'm using Clinton Hill Cashmere. I will not enter the
What?
I mean, I'm in the knit along, but I'm not going to enter the contest, obviously.
Oh, is there really a contest?
I think
Do you
there
win
is.
something?
I think you're supposed to post.
I didn't know that. I think the contest is that you need to use at least 5 skeins of Clinton Hill bespoke cashmere.
That's correct. So let me just see here.
Now Dinah kind of inversed the colors. She did
yes. So
instead of the cream with the black patterning, she did the black with the white, which I love.
I'm so excited.
You're almost done.
So I was hoping, as a spoof, I was hoping to have the stitches bound off on the body. I was going to wear it without sleeves, but didn't make it.
And that has long sleeves.
Yes. I'm looking at the sample that.
Oh, there it is. It's right over there.
In the
well, you're almost done, though.
So, yeah, it's just interesting, you know. Just when you think you know all the short rows,
right?
There's another one.
You know, there's always something to learn.
Which is fun. I absolutely love that, you know.
I was doing a tubular cast on the other day with a customer.
Yes.
And
Linda.
There's so many different ways of doing a tubular cast on.
Well, it's funny because Joan does her method, and I know that Shelly Anderson on the Mitra hat, we've been using the tubular cast on, where you actually take waste yarn and then you knit and slip. You double your stitches, knit and slip.
This one that we did not use waste yarn. It had you know, there's like
under, over, under.
Right.
That's like the Italian way.
Correct.
So Joan is like, I can do that cast on. Of course, you know, she could do it without waste yarn.
You know, the funny part is with the hat that the customer was doing, I just knit it a month ago. And
the Roku hat.
By
Olga Jazzy.
Thank you. And I don't remember what I did a month ago.
I know. You have to relearn it.
No idea.
But you did it. I cut my finger. I don't know how.
Today?
Yeah. Okay. Is it like splinters?
It's like a paper cut. Oh, I hope it's not splinters.
No, I think it's a paper cut.
It's painful.
Paying bills. Very painful.
Another whip that I have.
Yes.
Again, we have to have a conversation about how many projects we have. You know, this is another thing. Anyway, I started this for Lucy.
There is nothing else in my bag.
Well, here.
I do know what I want to cast on. No, I'm not knitting. I'm knitting only on this right now. I finished my prairie mittens. You're being I can't think of the word. Monogamous to one project at a time.
Trying to be. Well, I think that's
I'm holding restraint. I want to cast on a hat.
For me personally, that is I feel it goes faster that way because you get something done.
Progress.
Right, you see progress.
Definitely.
If you're doing a little on this and a little on that, then this I started when we were expecting Olive last year. I wanted to give something to Lucy. Well, now Olive is like almost 4 months old and Lucy still doesn't have it.
You need to get cracking.
So bad. This is a crocheted blanket. I can't even tell you what stitch it is because I saw it somewhere. I didn't even know where I got it from.
It's not the tulip stitch.
It's not. It's something like the tulip. It's something like it. It's got a single crochet between each motif, and I think I do a single, a half double, and maybe a double. I'm not sure, but anyway, the yarn that I'm using is.
It does look like a single, a half double.
I think that's what it is because I have to work on it now, and I have to go back and rip some out because I don't remember the stitch. I'm using a yarn that we carry here in the shop that's very popular for little kids. You have it, Dinah, on your side. That's better over there. It's called Flutterbee. And kids, whether the child is a year old or even a teenager,
they
love this yarn. Yeah. Yep. So I thought that I would make it for Lucy, and it's very light. I mean, it's a dense stitch that I'm doing, but the blanket is still light.
Definitely.
So we'll see how long this takes. Hopefully, she'll. But you see,
next podcast.
No, I'm going to be very honest. My dilemma is, you say. There are two theories, and right now I'm stuck in limbo because I can't decide what to do. We had coffee recently, a few weeks ago, and I pulled out my Stephen West. Oh
my God!
What's that called?
Building blocks.
Building blocks, right? Now that was a project that you would say I'm probably.
Did you start that in the Mystery Knit Along?
I did. How far along am I? Am I 2/3 done? Or a half? I'm more than halfway done.
Did you do the brioche?
I did the brioche.
You finished the hard section.
Right, I finished the hard section. That's true. You're right. I did. I'm more than halfway done.
Yes, I would say 2/3.
Right, and so now I
I
put
mean,
it
it's hard to tell because
and-
it does get wider at the top. But
right. Well, the reason I put it down was because I was doing Christmas knitting that year. That's why I put it down. And I absolutely love the colors that I have in that shawl.
Yes,
Love
figured
the
out where you
colors in
were.
that shawl. But I had to figure out where I was. So that was the whole thing. Figured out where I was, right? With
Which we
Dinah Sup,
did.
we figured it out.
Now where is it? You shelved it again.
I did because when I looked at it
Sure,
that
you
day,
make me
what did I
figure it
notice?
out.
What did I notice?
And you're going to pull.
Oh, I know where I am now. If I picked it up now, I could do it. But I thought I was on the last section. I really did. But then I said, wait a second, I'm on section 6 or 6, I think. I'm going to have 7, 8, 9.
You weren't as close as you thought you were.
So, but
reshelved
but if I said I'm going to knit a row a day, if I knit 2
Not
rows
happening.
a day, I would have it done by next year.
I know Jake's blanket. Jake's
You
blanket
didn't
is
finish Jake's
no
blanket?
spontaneous. I thought I could do a row or 2 a
You
day.
can do it.
It's not that I can't. I just haven't done it.
Well,
This is now 2 Hanukkahs that it's
that
not
was
done.
2 Hanukkahs?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
It should have been
And
done.
you're on a big needle with that, too.
I know.
Wow.
Because
Well-
you think you're going to do a row a day, and it just doesn't happen. But when
Well-
you just commit to the project,
Well, I also then, that brings me back to Like a Cloud. Same thing. I love Like a Cloud. I want that
fabulous.
done.
I want to make
But-
another one.
But you should make it a squishy, which brings
Yes,
us
I
to the
think-
next thing we'll talk
Or
about.
even, Marsha's making it in Road to China.
I love
okay,
Road to
side
China.
circle.
Okay. Anyway, so just to say this real quickly, I now have about around 300 stitches on the needle, maybe 280, 300.
Okay.
You
Oh,
know.
you joined all in one.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're on Easy Street.
I'm like at least
Well,
2
you
inches
should be
down from the
cruising
join.
now.
2 inches, but I have to
That
do
one
like
you could do 8 rows, put it down. 8 rows, just do a pattern repeat.
okay. Well, that's the thing too. So then I say, well, if I do 4 rows, it's still going to take me time to get that thing done. It's like it's not going to be done soon.
It'll
So
be
then
done
I
for
say,
fall.
well, I'm not doing it. I'm just going to work on this and finish this. So the other night we had guided knitting, and Rita is doing it.
Yes.
Rita Delonzo.
Mhm.
And she said, okay, I have to leave by 9 o'clock.
Oh, she came in. She said she
from
was
9
doing...
to 10, this is her method. From 9
For
to
1
10,
hour.
she knits 4 rows.
Yes, she does half
4
a repeat.
rows, half a repeat, because
Yes.
it's an 8 rows. So you think
Sure.
I could do 8 rows in one day. She does 4 rows, and she's moving along. She's moving along.
Smart.
So anyway, so I thought that's always interesting. So what do you do? How do you approach your knitting? Do you do
I knit in the morning.
one project? Or well, but if you knit in the morning and then you should have the time later on to knit, are
I
you
don't.
working on the same project?
I
Or
really-
you knit at some point.
In the morning.
But you don't knit it all in the evening?
Not usually. I'm
Never.
too tired. Usually, I'm too tired.
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
what happens with me. I can't do
I
evening
can't.
knitting. Because I'm too
I mean,
tired.
it just so happened like the other day. You know what it is? I get home, I start cooking.
Right,
I'm
right.
with
Well,
Sophie.
Yeah, you're a mom.
I go visit my mom.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm just doing things.
Right.
I,
Well,
and
that's-
I'm mentally exhausted.
I always
and drained.
find that when I get home, I always think, oh, I'm home. I can knit.
Especially if I get
I'm
home
so
early.
excited. I'm home. I can knit. By the time I do dinner, by the time I do
It's
whatever I
so
have
bad.
to do,
Yeah,
I sit
wish.
down and it's like, oh, I'm too tired now. I can't do it. It's depressing, isn't
Yeah.
it? So anyway, but that's my problem. So right now I'm like, I really should pick up my Like a Cloud a little bit every day.
You should.
Or even if it's every other day.
Even
know?
if it's for 15 minutes.
Right, or
Because
the
it's a row.
Building Blocks by Stephen West, which I
Mhm.
love the colors on, or the Blanket for Lucy.
You know, it's hard because those projects that you're describing, especially with building blocks and Like a Cloud, there are a lot of stitches on a row.
Stitches on a row.
So I think in that particular case, rather than saying maybe, okay, I'm going to do an hour a night, you might dedicate a day of the week. Like on Monday, I'll work on this.
Well, I do, but then I feel like I never have. What did you knit? What did you finish? Nothing.
Well, then, right. That's true because you're slicing. That is very true. But if you were to say, okay, like I was just thinking, all right, you work 15 minutes or half. What are you getting done? A row or 2?
That's what Rita works for an hour and she does 4 rows.
That's a lot. That's
It's
half.
half a repeat.
Yes.
It's like this much.
No. That's a lot.
Wow.
The depth of the body is actually not
It's
that
not
much.
that
It's
deep.
not that
No,
long.
it's not. I thought it was deeper than
Yeah,
that when I
no.
made it. I mean, you could make whatever you want, clearly, but it's not as deep as everyone thought.
Stick to one.
Love that sweater.
I just wore it yesterday.
Yeah,
I've
love
been
that.
wearing
And
it
that is a
It's an
sweater.
easy wear.
You know what?
That's why I want to make it again.
That's why it's such a good sweater. It's a very easy wear.
Barbara did it in squishy. Speaking of squishy, we
Yeah,
got a
let's
nice,
talk.
lovely delivery of squishy.
Yes, we did, and we brought it here to show you.
Yes.
Let me get some.
Well, I'll
So
start with
tell
the
them
new
what.
colors.
Yeah, you tell them what squishy
So
is.
Squishy is a beautiful yarn from Manzula.
Mm-hmm.
It is a blend. I think it's merino wool, cashmere, and
MCN.
nylon.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. This is Petals. It's a new colorway for us in the shop.
No, that's not getting the
Probably.
color good. Go closer to the screen, maybe.
Let's see if I just hold on a minute. Is that any better?
It's a light.
Oh,
It
there
looks
it is.
orangey, though.
There
but
it
it's
is.
not.
That's Petal.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful colorway.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got a nice delivery in charcoal. Try to hold them for a little bit. This is the new color. Love this color. Curry.
I like that color.
I think it's a little bit more intense. There it is. Great. Great colorway. This one is a restock, Madam. Let's see.
That's a great color, madam.
Not coming up that well.
No.
This is a great color.
Mhm.
Seaside. Of course it sells hand over fist because our sample is knit in this colorway.
Which is our little Paxton baby sweater
Yes.
and hat.
Which is just very
One
popular.
skein makes this newborn sweater
Yeah. Yeah, I'll hold it up.
with a hat and even booties if you want.
Very cute. It's actually unbuttoned. But it's like an off-center
Yeah, it's pretty. It's top down.
off-center button band, top-down sweater, one skein, all in one. And I believe the sleeves are done on DPNs, unless
yeah.
you learn Magic Loop.
Right.
The hat,
The hat is a pattern. It's called
it's
Simple
actually-
Lace. I think
yes.
it's called Simple Lace. It's, I believe, a free. I think it's a. I'm not sure.
I think you have to purchase the
you do.
pattern.
And
Yeah,
we took the lace section out of it.
to keep it unisex.
Right.
I believe that you'd have to do this either on a 9-inch or a 12-inch needle for the preemie or the newborn hat, unless you do Magic Loop or
I
DPN.
did mine on a 16.
Did you? Is it tight?
The first row was tight, but then after that it was fine.
Very popular sweater. Very sweet, easy. Absolutely lovely.
And it's nice with squishy. It's a nice yarn
Yep.
for it.
Then we have black, no brainer, and Au Naturel.
And then look at this.
These are our stock colors. I'll help you. Should we read them off?
Good.
This one is called Toffee,
Emerald.
Emerald. This one is Sea Breeze,
Nimbus.
Nimbus,
Gravity. Pewter. Storm. Navy. Victoria. And this one
Sexy.
is Sexy. I like that name, Sexy. That's a pretty name.
That's one panel of colors.
So we've got a bunch of colors in this. And the name is so appropriate for the yarn.
It's so soft.
It's squishy. What do you have there, Diana?
This is Sophia. This one's Sophia, Rosebud. What's this colorway? Ballerina. That's this one here. I think that's Sophia again.
Lipstick.
Oh, lipstick. Excuse me. Very similar, but different.
This is the natural.
Oh, natural. We showed that. Restock.
Peach.
Very pretty.
I like that peach color. That's nice for a baby. Arizona.
Great
I
colorway.
like that name. This one is
Danny.
Is that Danny?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Danny. That's a great color. Plum.
I think Danny's repeated over there.
Danny, of course it is. And Irene. And what
The
did
very
you,
end.
the color that you made your Tegna out of squishy?
I want to say
Bubble gum.
that was bubble gum. I don't think we have bubble gum right now.
I think we're out of it.
We're
But
out of
anyway, a Tegna is another nice thing.
Yeah, that's a beauty.
that you
So
can
there are a
make.
couple of things that you can actually do in the
Any colorwork sweater, fingering color.
anything. Absolutely. I know that Chris actually was just inquiring. She wants to do a girl's best friend shawl,
You could do that.
which is going to be in.
Oh, this would be lovely in Girl's
Yes.
Best Friend.
I'm thinking I might make mine.
Yeah. And also, I just thought of the Zweig. Is
The
another
Zweig
one that
sweater.
you could do. Yeah.
Did Barbara do hers out of squishy or cricket? The Leica Cloud. I think she may have done
She
it
did
in
out of squishy. She did. That's
So
what,
you can
yeah.
do right. As a matter of fact, I recommended that to Tracy because she wanted to make another one
Right,
also.
right.
Yeah,
if
so
I'm
this
if I
actually
were
has
to
a
make
nice
another
tone.
one, I would use this.
Yeah,
I would use this.
I think so too.
Now, the original Like a Cloud, just to remind
Would you do it in a linen, like as a summer weight? I'm toying with
you
that.
could do that. You know what
Maybe.
you could do? Well, maybe, well, whatever. You could do something like sleeveless. You know how it's just
Yes.
curls under
Mm-hmm.
like that? That would be cute.
Possible.
Anyway, I just thought of something
Lots of
else I was going to say and I
possibilities.
can't remember it. But the squishy, the Like a Cloud,
Yep.
the original pattern she used Shibui Sima held with Silk Cloud. That's the original piece.
Right. I think it was on a size 4. We're on a size 4 needle.
I think
with
we're on a
that?
4. Yeah. And
So
again, a
squishy
size
really
4 needle, like
US 4.
280 stitches in a row. You know,
I love it. I
It's
want to
nice,
make another one.
it's nice.
Definitely.
Anyway, so what else do we have, Dinah?
Well, so that's one of our new products that we have in stock. We are restocked in our Zuni markers.
Oh, very
These
nice.
have been popular. So we got some more in. Oh, we're going to be making a lot of noise.
Why don't you take one and I'll take one? How does that sound?
Well, I got the gems.
I got the faces.
Not really the... Well, the emojis are fun.
The emojis are fun.
So, in case you haven't seen these before.
This is the look you have on your face when you realize you have to rip out.
Rip.
I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, that's good.
There you go.
And these are like the little gems.
And there are. I'm not going to show you all of them.
They had different faces.
I think there are 13.
So these are fun.
Yep.
They're thin wired. They lay on your needle. They don't take up a lot of room, which is kind of nice because sometimes it gets frustrating.
Right, it gets in the way.
Yeah.
And this is the face you make when you can cast on another project.
Yeah. It's so funny.
Well, listen, got to make a joke out of it, right? Have to
Absolutely.
enjoy it. We knitters love our
Oh my God, I can go crazy with markers.
accoutrement,
Yes.
you know.
Speaking of,
Accoutrement.
here, do you want to cover the
Yes.
new Acroworks?
Yes.
Acroworks.
Acroworks.
Yeah,
These just
Acroworks.
walked through the door yesterday.
Yes, we did an unboxing.
And this is a new gauge from, again, it's called Acroworks, and you use it. Should I take it out of the
Yes,
box?
you should.
It's a little different take on a gauge, right?
I'm trying to open my box under the table.
And it's got the cutout cross. It looks like a cross or a T or an X, whatever you want to say. And you can measure, of course, your 4 inches, and you can also measure your rows with this.
Right, so you have a row. You can check your row gauge as well as your stitch gauge, and it actually has
What are these
teeth
things
that
on
you
the
can actually
side?
set into your work
Oh,
so that it doesn't move around.
You see the little teeth there? Yeah, there you go. That's a good
Like
picture.
thread.
Yep. So that you can put it on the work and it stays in place, doesn't slide around as you're trying to measure it. So this is
Swatch gauge,
a swatch gauge, which is lovely.
a nice new tool.
Now what Dinah has. Oh,
So this is really cute.
this is adorable.
This
What's
is
it
actually,
called?
It's called the Toolkit, also from Aquaworks, the same company. And what you'll see in here is the same exact swatch gauge tool,
That's on top.
which actually pops off.
Yep.
And then you have a cute little
Show
scissor.
them the inside. Well, there you go.
Here's the inside, and it's brilliant because it's magnetic.
Oh,
So although
it's
you have
fabulous.
all those components inside,
They're not
the
going
little
to come
stitch
out. Just look
markers.
at the needle, how the needle is staying in there.
Yep.
So you have your needle,
you have tapestry needles,
2 of them.
and you can always add more. You have these little markers, the safety pin removable markers.
So they're open, they can be removable.
Right. Then you have this tiny little scissor.
Is that a travel scissor?
It is. I actually called them up. It is travel safe. I'm not sure if it's actually officially TSA approved, but they're definitely travel friendly.
Yeah, they wouldn't take that from you.
Yeah. And then there's a tape measure, which is right here.
Pops out the other side, right?
Yeah.
Don't take
Well,
it
I
out.
won't take it out.
There you go.
And then
This
this
is
is
lovely.
really clever, but you see your needle gauge right here on the side.
Yep.
So you could put your needles through there to see what needle gauge you have.
That's fabulous.
It's just a great toolkit. Just something different, something fresh, something new.
Put in your knitting bag.
Definitely.
Yep, I love
Packs
that.
away nicely.
Yep.
and makes a great gift. We have yarn crawl coming up. So for
Or
those
it
of
can
you,
be, a selfish pleasure.
it can be. You don't have to wait for someone else to get it
Right.
for you,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
it's certainly a nice little treat.
That's
So,
lovely.
This is the Acroworks
Toolkit.
knitting toolkit,
Yep.
and certainly good for crocheters too.
Yep. And Lane,
Yes.
while we're over there,
While I'm over here,
we've got the latest Lane, which is issue number 7.
yes. So we're super excited to have this. I'm sure you've seen posts and heard about it. Here,
Right.
you want to
Sure.
take over?
Yep. What is in? Is there anything in here that? Not. Of course, there's lots of stuff in there. I don't mean
Beautiful
to say is there
patterns.
anything, but
Beautiful,
let's see.
lovely recipes. The photography is great. Different
Always,
patterns,
always lovely
towels,
photography.
shawls. That's
Yeah.
another design. Hold on, right there.
Nope.
Believe it or not, another design in Luft.
Is that
Yes.
which is that?
I have to put on my
Who was
glasses.
that by?
I don't know by heart the name of the designer because that's a new one. I can't pronounce it. It's spelled Kouhei,
I didn't know about this one.
and it's by Whitney Hayward.
No, I didn't know about this.
So there's another lovely design. That Luft is just so popular.
Yeah,
If you
very
haven't gotten your
popular.
hands on it,
The new pattern Hohi, right? Has this called? No, that's not Ho. Which one is Dark Cloud?
Dark Cloud is by Joji Locatelli.
And Vera Vermutli has another one.
Does she?
Yes, she
Is that
does.
in Interpretations?
No, I don't think it is. I don't think it is, but here.
Stephen West designed a new one.
This is
That's
a
in
color
his new
work.
book.
A color work cowl.
Of course, you have Shelley Anderson, which we've really
Right. The what's it called?
There's Mitra,
Mitra.
the cardigan. The hat that I just previously showed you is
There's
the Mitra
another one
hat.
too.
Triton.
This is I'm looking for one that we haven't
And many of
seen
you
yet.
may already know the Turbo Dove.
This
So
is
there's a
co-
lot of
we talk
familiar.
about color work. Look
Yep.
at the color work in here.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So this is great. You know, we had done the. Did we do an unboxing on this? I think we did.
I think so.
And who was it that came in and wanted one right away? She was having her knitting group night, her knit night at home with her little knitting group.
Mm-hmm.
And she was so excited to just put it on the coffee table. The book
Right.
is so lovely that you don't
Yeah.
even, I mean, it's just a table book.
That's what so many of the magazines are
Mhm.
now. Like you have Pom Pom and
Yeah. The photography, the
right.
book, the size
And
of it. It's
As
just
Dinah
so
mentioned,
inviting.
there are recipes in here
Yes.
to find one. These are the patterns, but they're in here. Look at that.
So it's not just knitting.
Look at this. Last one I'll show you. I guess it's a cardigan with
God,
cables.
the ink on those magazines. Do you smell it?
Yes, yeah.
I feel
But
like
that's
getting high on it. It's so strong. Oh my
I know.
gosh.
And here's a recipe. There's a recipe. But in any
What's that
event,
recipe for?
let's see. This is where to stay
Oh my
in
gosh.
London. They tell you where to stay in London, all these different places. And I
Where to
guess
shop.
shops to go visit.
Travel guide.
Travel guides and
Book
books,
recommendations. Really sweet.
Yeah, and then as we all like to do, just create. Look at all those samples. Isn't that great? So anyway, issue
Love
7
In the house.
in the house.
Well, that's it for new product.
I think it is for new product. Yeah. We
Pretty
did
much.
have a week or two ago. We had Becky here from Clinton Hill Cashmere.
Yes, we have a trunk show. Well, we had a trunk show here in the shop, and she
Yes.
brought all of her beautiful, lovely samples. And Becky was kind enough to actually leave some samples with us.
What did she leave?
So, what are you going to start with?
This one, I think, Dinah. This was
Okay.
popular the day of the trunk show.
Yes, it
Wasn't
was.
it? And I forget what it's called. I
This
should
is
remember.
called the Grand Square.
Look at that.
She designed this. She was inspired by your traditional Hermes scarf,
Mhm.
and you can fold it in half.
Yeah, and this is great. I love the way you can
Wear
wear
it
it.
like a triangle.
Yep. Or you could
I
put
look
the
like a
She's-
snowman. No neck, layer
So
upon
funny.
layer, but you have the
So
tassels.
funny.
I really do look very silly here. I'll give it to you.
But anyway,
Oh
you know,
my
and
God.
her colors are, very classic for cashmere. She's starting to add,
New colors, but here she has her classic sand
and camel,
camel.
which is lovely.
Yeah, I like the variations that we sold the day.
And
of
this is
trunk
the
show.
DK weight, so
It
it's
is.
not as heavy. So when
Mhm.
you wrap it, I
I
mean,
think it was 4 skeins of the main color in the
three-
body and
mhm.
3 of the edging.
Right.
And then we have
What's this called? Diana?
Wonder Warmer Cowl.
Now you can wear it either way. You can put the black, your one color down or up. It's just a basic. It's lovely. It's this
It's a-
bespoke cashmere, the worsted weight.
I wouldn't say, I mean, basic in design, but so luxurious
Well,
in
that's
wear.
right. But that's the
It's
lovely
so
part
elegant.
of it. Yeah.
And we've had fun with that one because people have come in, they've picked their own colors, they've made
Correct.
it so original.
I mean, you could do whatever you want to do with it. You could
We've
get a
sold,
third color.
I was
if you
going
want
to say, how many times, I mean, we've
We
recently
just did
sold,
that yesterday. Yeah.
so that's a fun one.
That's a fun one.
That takes 3 skeins of bespoke.
And this is, I think, a 1 skein, isn't
Yes,
it?
that's her classic cowl.
And that's DK, right?
1 skein of DK.
So who doesn't want some luxury around their neck? 1 skein, right?
How could you not?
Mm.
That red looks so good on you. That's her scarlet.
Yeah, that's pretty, isn't it?
Yes,
It's nice, keeps your neck warm.
lovely. And then we have some more.
Hey, this is great.
This one was just recently finished by Sandy, one of our customers. This is called the Hidden Lines pattern. Sandy decided to do a scarf, but you can also knit it as a shawl. Look at how
That
gorgeous.
pattern, I was just
my
going to say
gosh.
that pattern, wait, my side is not as good as your side. But look at that textured pattern.
It's
Oh, there it is.
stunning.
When the light gets lighter, yeah, they're beautiful.
It's absolutely gorgeous. So
Isn't
this is
that
called
pretty?
Hidden Lines.
This took 6 skeins.
Yeah, this is the scarf version. It's done in the bespoke, and if you wanted the shawl version, it would be. It's actually 73 inches long.
Yep.
This is supposed to be 8 inches wide.
No,
and,
12 inches. 12 and 20.
Oh, excuse me, 12 inches wide.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, and then 20 inches would be the shawl.
That's right. And that would be 10 skeins.
Yes,
So that's lovely.
she's going to be so excited
She's
that
gonna,
it's done.
Maybe she'll see it. You think she'll see it? Well, depends if she comes in before
We
the...
should wait and see. Well, she watch the podcast,
Yes, she
Sandy.
She usually watches
You're up
it.
to the
Well,
test.
she does, because Sandy always comes in and said, I want this and this because I saw it on the podcast. She said, I
She's
like the podcast
actually
because
good.
I know what I want to make then.
It's true.
Yeah.
This here is called the Belgian V.
Just move out of the way a little bit.
This is a cute little V-neck pullover. This takes how many skeins? I wrote
think
it down.
it's
7
or
to 8
8,
skeins. Yep.
7 or
So
8.
it's just a basic V.
Mhm.
Absolutely lovely.
Mhm.
Who wouldn't want to wear that? That'll
Right,
be
and
perfect
again,
over.
these are all cashmere. They're all cashmere pieces, which is just lovely.
Lovely.
And Dinah's rug.
Oh,
Don't
did
forget.
I mention?
We mentioned the knit that it was the Christy Glass
Yes,
knit along,
it's
but
done in the cashmere.
that's done. That's the whole thing. It was, I think, the whole thing behind the knit along is she's turning 40,
yeah, she should
shortly.
mention that.
and she
In
wanted
April.
to treat herself to something.
Right.
So, I guess that's the premise
Mhm.
behind it, right?
So it's exciting. She paired up with Clinton Hill. And
So Dinah's going to be able to wrap herself in a cashmere rug.
because I'm worth it.
Who isn't, right?
We're all worth it.
Who isn't?
All right, so
And
that
that's
was
it for
very,
the Clinton Hill, right?
I believe so. So thank you, Becky, for letting us borrow your samples.
Mhm.
We're continuing to enjoy them.
Yep.
And for
And
those
so
of you
are
who are
customers,
watching,
right?
I know, you might want to get your hands on some. So that's always fun. And then we have another FO.
Oh, yeah.
Not ours, though.
We
But we
should
have
have,
to share.
Yes, we spoke earlier of Isabel Kramer. And this is
Ravello.
Ravello.
This is done in Madeline Tosh Light. I think she modified the pattern slightly because she purchased 1 skein of each colorway.
How'd she modify? What'd she do?
And I think she was supposed to have 2 skeins in this main color.
I
And it was
gotcha.
supposed to be at the bottom or one
Oh,
of the... Or,
I gotcha. Okay.
I'm not sure. Maybe
But
it
that's
was
the
this
nice
color.
thing. You can play with it.
Correct.
You could even use a yarn that changes color
Absolutely.
and use that for your stripes,
Absolutely.
which would be pretty
Yep.
too. But this was Madeline Tosh Light.
Madeline Tosh Light. So you can check the quantities on that. That's a lovely sweater, also knit from the top down. And Isabel Kramer.
We love our Isabel Kramer.
Yes, we do. Okay.
So I think that's it for...
That's it for projects.
Yep.
I should say, I came in early today. I got a phone call.
Oh,
from
that's right.
The gals from
Yeah,
Connecticut.
yeah,
and
yeah.
we had 2 special visitors today. A special shout out to Kate and Laura, who drove all the way from Connecticut
Yeah.
and brought us delicious cookies,
Look at that.
which we actually
We did have one.
tasted prior. We figured it might not be so great to eat on screen.
No, you don't want to do that. That's not pretty.
But they're delicious. They're chocolate chip oatmeal cookies. We were just trying to figure out if they were oatmeal raisins or chocolate chip.
we had to try them. To
Yummy.
find out.
Yes, they are crunchy, Kate. I'm glad I didn't bite into them on screen.
There you go. Thank you so much
So
for
thank you
those.
so much.
And thank you for making the trip down to the shop.
Yeah, that was really very sweet. And,
You know, whenever you have to cross a bridge, that's a trip.
yeah, I asked her if it wasn't that much traffic. Did it take them a long time?
No, she said about an hour, or I think it was somewhere between an hour and a half
Not so bad.
to come down. But, you know, again, how many bridges do you have to? Is it just one bridge, Dinah?
I think it's just the Throgs.
I think it's just, or the Whitestone, either one, right?
Right.
Yeah, but
Just
still a bridge.
Not so bad.
And they
It's
didn't
worth
come
the
in.
trip.
They didn't come down in rush hour.
No, and it was kind of nice. I mean, on the off chance that we happened to be here today.
And they were making a day of it, so they were traveling down, coming to the
stopped for
shop.
lunch, right.
They were stopping for lunch, and then going to head back
Yes.
with their new projects.
Yeah, I'm excited for them. They got
Yeah.
good stuff.
Well, you know, another thing that Dinah has going on coming up soon is the Long Island Yarn Crawl.
Oh yeah, we have some announcements actually.
We do. There's
We do.
something else too, isn't
Yeah.
there?
Starting Friday, we are changing our store hours.
Right.
We have several things.
Well, that doesn't affect you if you live in Virginia.
Connecticut.
Well, it could affect them.
Actually,
It could.
if you're
It could.
driving in.
It could.
No, but seriously speaking, we are changing our hours. We are going to be opening every day at 11:30. So if you haven't received the email and you're trying to come visit us or reach out to us or call a shop, 11:30 to 4:30. Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, and Thursday,
Until
11:30 until 6.
Right.
We also have Knit Night coming back into play.
That's right. Knit Night.
Knit Night.
Is that the first Thursday, Dinah?
First Thursday of
Okay.
every month. It's not this Thursday. It will be next Thursday.
Come and knit.
Or actually, excuse me, by the time this posts, it will be the upcoming Thursday.
Right.
Very
right.
tricky when you're podcasting.
Exactly. I know.
um,
Well, today is, well, we should say today's Wednesday, so
Wednesday.
it's not tomorrow.
Right.
It'll probably be the following Thursday, next Thursday.
Wednesday, February 27th,
Right.
just for the record.
Yeah.
We didn't even
Oh, that's
introduce ourselves.
today. That's
Today
today
is-
you're saying Wednesday. Yeah. Yeah. Can you believe February is almost over?
But we didn't even introduce ourselves.
I'm Pam or Pam Sapp on Instagram.
If you stayed tuned this
And-
long to figure it
And
out.
Ravelry. Right. If you didn't know that already. And you are.
Dinah from The Knitting Place. And you can find me at The Knitting Place on Instagram, The
Right.
Knitting Place on Facebook, and The Knitting Place on Ravelry.
Yeah.
I had a
There
mind
you
blank
go.
for a minute.
It's like, who am I?
Oh my God. We should have opened with that. Sorry,
Well, that's
guys.
okay. That's okay. Switch it up a little bit.
So do we have any questions for our viewers?
Well, I asked them, how do they knit? You know, do they knit like only on one project? Or do they move it around a little bit?
Okay. How many projects do you travel with in your bag?
The other thing that I'm wondering,
And when I say travel, I don't mean like
take with you from
on
place
a
to
plane.
place, right?
Exactly. Like in your bag.
Oh, you do mean that. So you
On
mean
a
that if,
day-to-day basis, how many projects do you have in your bag?
like if you're going to go somewhere and you take your knitting with you, do you just have one project in the bag or is there more than one project in the bag? That's
Correct.
what you're asking. Yeah. Right. I know the answer for me. I have more than one.
Okay.
Do you? Oh, you must have. I see the bag you bring in every day.
I actually have only one in there right now. But that's because I did finish my mitra hat. I did finish my prairie mittens. And now I only
Otherwise, they
have the
would have.
rug.
Right. But that would
So
have been in there.
I did have 3,
Right.
but now I'm down to 1.
Which means
Which
she
means
has
I
to
can cast on 6.
Exactly.
For everyone I finish, I can cast on 3.
That is, we were just joking the other day. Dinah said, "Oh, I finished a project. I can cast on 3 more."
There you go.
That's what we like
My
to do.
kind of math.
Exactly. Whatever works, right? No, but we were also saying about Yarn Crawl.
Oh, yeah, that's another announcement. So April 4th to April 7th,
Correct.
mark the calendar. We are going to
If
have
you're
the
local.
Long Island. Well, or
Or
not so local.
you can come for
Last
it,
year
yeah.
we had people drive in from Maryland, which was really
Mhm.
sweet.
Yeah.
Connecticut. They didn't actually get through the entire Long Island yarn crawl,
Right.
but they certainly went to a few shops.
Right.
It's
I think how
Going
many
to
shops are participating this year? Do you know? Is it 10?
I think it's 10. I'm looking at the door because our poster is posted on the door. And even without my glasses, I think it's about 10, I could see. So that's going to be exciting. April 4th to the 7th, we have 10 shops participating. You can follow the link or the page on Facebook. You can follow the Long Island Yarn Crawl on Instagram. You can Follow any of the shops that are participating. Download the passport.
Is there anything special that's happening
during Yarn Crawl?
During Yarn Crawl?
I mean,
any shop can do what they want, but is there anything that's...
I know that we are doing something. I don't know. I guess am I allowed to say?
I don't know.
You know what? We have an exciting thing that's going to happen at every shop, meaning something is going to be, you can collect something at every shop, and at the end of Yarn Crawl, you will have something unique to this particular Yarn Crawl. We have our Yarn Crawl bag that has been, I think it might have been publicized, actually. You can look on Instagram. You might be able to view that. You get that, I think, with a $40 purchase for free, or you could purchase the bag. I know that each individual yarn shop will be hosting or having different specials or different events.
And we will have some as well.
Yes.
But we can't say what they are right now.
No. We're going to keep it secret for just a little bit longer.
Stay tuned. So this is now February 27th, so you're saying April 4th. So
to the 7th.
There's about 5 or 6 weeks. March is a longer month. But so when do you think would we podcast before Yarn Crawl?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
We better.
Okay.
I mean, I am going to EYF next month.
Well, that's the other thing, too.
Yes,
that's even before
EYF.
Yarn Crawl.
Yes. So it gets a little bit tricky, but I'm going to be going to EYF, which is exciting.
The thing with Yarn Crawl is that we don't have to take anything anywhere.
I know.
I mean, that makes it so much easier. Right. So much easier.
We're going to organize the shop a little bit more, get our things together. We're excited for the new things we're going to have in the shop.
Yep.
And stay tuned. We might be trying to do a knit-along for Yarn Crawl. The reason I'm saying it out loud is because you should all stay tuned. If we do a Long Island...
When you say we might be doing, you mean all the knitting stores are going to do one?
Again, it's voluntary if the yarn shops on Long Island would like to participate.
But it's one thing that
we're going to pick a shawl.
I gotcha.
And hopefully it will be a knit shawl and a crochet shawl. So you could, whether you're a knitter or a crocheter.
Oh, so there'll be a crochet pattern and a knit pattern.
Correct. And
that's nice.
Can knit or crochet either one. And I'm kind of speaking ahead of myself because we really haven't decided whether or not we're going to do it.
Oh, could always do one.
And if we do,
we could always
participate because then there might be door prizes for you at the participating shops.
I was going to say something now. Go ahead.
No, I'm just going to finish my thought. The tricky part with this is that we're starting it now. If we start it as of March 1st or March 4th, the only
criteria.
No, what's hard is for the shops to actually be able to present a sample.
Right. Well, I'm
probably really speaking out of tune. I really should edit this whole section out.
Oh. We don't do
so
that.
much for editing. I don't edit, so I just spoke out of turn.
That's fine. It's whatever. Listen, we did have a shawl last year that we did. But, every year is different. We do something different every year.
Yes. Thanks to Joan Forgione. That was very nice. She gifted us a shawl.
That was lovely. I was going to say a project that I would love to cast on
is,
and I don't know the name of it. Oh. It's also Isabel Kramer. It's that other shawl.
Not the one that Lisa's knitting.
Yes. What is that called?
Oh, my God. Speaking of Lisa.
Oh, where is it? Hold on. Let me get it. We forgot all about that. I'm going to get it.
What are you getting?
Don't we have them?
Lisa.
Where are they? Oh, I don't have to get them? You have them? Oh,
She's been making these wonderful project bags. And the reason...
Well, as you know, there are a lot of knitters have been sewing lately.
Yes. I think I need a sewing machine.
I had one. I got rid of it.
Look at these terrific bags.
Go closer.
Purdy Girl has been creating these beautiful project bags.
And it says, made by Purdy Girl with love and profanity.
Okay. We'll leave that to your interpretation.
Exactly.
It's got a beautiful gusset at the bottom.
This is a sweater. This is a sweater
definitely
bag.
Sweater bag.
Definitely a sweater bag.
Nice size. It almost fits the entire screen.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a gusset and it's lined. Lovely, beautiful handle.
Mm-hmm.
But wait.
There's more.
She doesn't only have the zippered version. These are the 2 prints we have in stock right now. But she has a drawstring version as well.
And I think the virgin, you did say virgin. She hasn't had anything to drink yet either. That's after the podcast.
version.
I think this one has a pocket because I think Michelle's had a pocket yesterday.
Yes, it does.
It does, right?
Yeah. So there's a pocket inside. It's a nice deep bag.
I don't know if you can tell, but
Very
just
well
hold
made.
it up, Dinah. Let it just stand. You can see the weight of the fabric. It's not a flimsy fabric.
Yeah.
It's got some,
It's like a cotton canvas.
yeah, like a canvas. Prints are lovely.
So hopefully we'll be getting more prints. Stay tuned.
And that is, are they online?
They are. You can check them out on our website, Purdy Girl Project Bags.
Right. Again, the quantities are I mean, it's not like we would have 20 of these bags at
No,
any
they're
given time.
definitely limited. The prints are also limited. So if there's
But they're
something that you
continuing.
like,
There will always be something, probably.
I hope so.
Yep.
as long as Lisa's sewing.
As long as Lisa's sewing, right? Yeah,
So
we
we're
almost
excited
forgot about that.
those.
We almost
Yeah,
forgot
we're
about
so
that.
excited about
Yep.
that.
Yep.
They've been selling well. What else could we share?
You're going to EYF. You didn't say much about that.
I'm taking a class
Oh, on what?
on how to fix cables.
I think you can do
Yes,
that. But you have to
but
take
this
a
is
class.
actually, I mean, I got my homework. I haven't done that yet.
What is your homework?
I have to knit several swatches in cable pattern.
A
And of
particular
course-
pattern?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, of course, if it's a right twist cable or a right hold cable front,
Or
excuse
whole
me,
cable back.
hold cable back.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's two cables going at the same time. So, of course, if they're both supposed to, depending on how they slant, one of them in the middle of the swatch is slanting a different way.
Who's teaching the class?
I forgot her name.
Okay.
Sorry.
Were there choices
do
for
my
you
homework.
to take, like in terms of classes, or was it?
Definitely choices. It's just so hard to get into. I mean,
Yeah.
clearly I did not get into the class that I wanted, but I did want to take a class.
Right.
You know, when we go to Vogue,
we never have time to go to
we never-
classes,
right.
right?
So I just wanted
especially
to
the
be-
ones we want to.
I wanted to be on the other side, just to see what that was like.
Do you remember, Dinah,
Uh-oh.
when you and I went to a class in the city?
Jared Flood. Was
Yes,
the
it had to be. How many years ago was that?
I don't know, but that was fun.
We went to a class on a
Lion
Sunday.
Brand.
It was at Lion Brand.
Yeah.
How that worked out, I don't know what that connection was, but there were two classes. You couldn't get into the first one. I got into the first one, the two of them, and I can't remember what my first class was now.
What you did the hat?
Hat.
I think it was the four squared, the shaping of the hat. But
I
then
don't
I
remember.
joined you in the other class, and the class was a shawl or something, and we directional knitting where you
Right.
did the provisional cast on. It was a lovely class. He's a great teacher.
Right, and then what was so nice about the first class was, and I don't remember what the class was now, but I do know that he started talking about steeking. And he took us from where we were sitting at this table into another room where he proceeded to steek something. And there were maybe 10 of us in the class. And I'm so annoyed with myself because I never did anything. You know, if you learn a technique and you don't do anything with it, I don't know about you, but you really don't remember it unless you do it. And so, can you imagine we took that class with Jared
And
Flood?
we
Could
still
you
have-
take a class with Jared Flood now?
Of course, I would die. I would love to.
I know, isn't that crazy?
I would love to. I don't take enough classes.
Well, we can't though. We
It's-
don't have the
it's tough.
opportunity.
But speaking of steeking, so it's interesting. You know, Nikki finished her sweater.
Yes, that's correct. Yes, she did.
So she knit the sweater. She did the
What's that called?
Ramblin' Woman
Yeah.
from Caitlin Hunter.
Right.
And I actually had to call a lifeline because I have never steeked. It was a superwash wool. And of course I did reach out to Christy, and Christy had mentioned that her steeking was always done in a non-superwash wool.
Correct.
So then I made a special call to Kathy at the Knot House,
Who's done
several.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, you must reinforce your sweater with serge. You
The sewing machine.
sewing
Did she
machine.
do it, Nikki?
So Nikki is waiting for Susan, I believe,
Susan who?
Susan Lasso, to help her
Oh,
with.
she has a
Sorry,
sewing
we're
machine.
name dropping. It's probably inappropriate.
Her friend Susan.
Yes, it's supposed to help her with her serging.
Okay.
But a very special thank you to Kathy.
Oh,
It was
yes.
really
yeah.
nice that I could pick up the phone and call you for advice. So we haven't done that yet, but as soon as we do,
We are going to steek, Dinah.
yes.
Two things that have to be on the list are steeking
This is 2019, you
and
guys.
socks.
Okay.
Steeking and socks. And you know, what I was going to say before was, and I don't know if we would find this helpful, we should both try to do it and see if it works. This is what Christy Glass did. She made a list at the beginning of the year
Of things we want to do.
of projects that she knew she wanted to make.
Okay.
Or I don't know if it was projects she wanted to make and she had the yarn for it. She probably has the yarn for it. But I think there were like 25 or 26 items on the list. And I think if you write things down, even if it was just the circlet I made Lucy, you know, when you look back at what you've done,
it's like accomplishments also.
right? You can see what you've done. So like what you've done and what you want to do, and then you may go to EYF, Dinah, and you may add a project to your list.
Right. My God, I have so many projects from last year. I said I would finish my the rose cardigan.
The rose cardigan. Well, you know who's working on that rose cardigan?
I need to finish
Lisa.
that. She started it again?
Space, yes, she did. And the way she finished her half mitered
is
she was on the sweater is knit in 4 sections, 4 quarters, 4 whatever you call it. I think
it's 4 quadrants.
She's on the 3rd quadrant.
Lisa, I'm jealous.
But just because she's on the third, wait. But just because she's on the 3rd quadrant, she still has to do the 4th quadrant.
You still have to do the sewing.
Sleeves.
No, the sleeves are done.
But she still has to do.
You sew the sleeves. You pick. You knit the bottom band.
The bottom band, and then
border.
and that's a big front border.
Yeah.
It's a big front border.
Mm-hmm.
So she said she would see if she could get it done for EYF.
Ooh, I wish I could, but I don't think I can.
It's a lot of knitting.
Yeah, I want to finish the rug.
Right.
That'll be very useful.
So in any
Over
event,
there, where it's nice and cold.
Make a list of your projects. Maybe for the next podcast.
Okay.
You could make a list. What
That'll
do you
be
think,
fun.
Dinah? I think it's
we should do a top. We should do a top 9 now of things that we. So in other words,
that's fine. I'll do that.
Okay.
Because I would like to make a sweater, but my problem is like, what color do you use? Like
another sweater?
I would like to make a sweater. Well, I know, but but again, there you go. So what's going to happen then? I say, well, I'll work on the like a cloud, but the weather's getting too warm to wear it, so I have to make something else. But making a list, right, okay. Dinah? We talked about that, making a list.
So we have 2 questions for you. How many projects do you carry in your bag? And the second one is I started posting some videos on Instagram, technique videos. Do you still want to see them? And do you want to see them with sound?
If you haven't seen them,
check them out.
I think without, well, I don't know.
With sound or without? Would you prefer that right now?
Maybe it depends on the technique.
I don't like talking. I don't like to hear my voice.
I don't think you need to do sound. I think that, well, with the ones you've done,
we're no sound.
But again, it depends.
I feel like for me, showing the technique sometimes is easier if I just try to go slow. I know someone said, can you do it a little slower?
Well, you know what Michelle Hunter said of Knit Pearl Hunter? She was a school teacher, and she said to us at TNNA once that you need to repeat something 3 times.
For it to sink in.
Yes, you need to do it 3 times. And listen, how many times all of us it's happened to us? We go on YouTube to look up a video, and you look at it, it's like 13 minutes. Well, I am not watching 13 minutes.
No.
To see how to tubular cast on. I'm not doing it.
Well, the other thing is I've been actually taking videos of things that what I'm actually working on.
What do you mean?
Meaning,
I did
the bobbles.
It's a technique. It's on one of your projects.
Right. Which is kind of fun because it keeps it very relevant to me and my work.
Okay, so where are our Japanese short rows?
So it's funny that you should ask because I was going to cast on a swatch. It's difficult because you have so many stitches. I have almost 200 stitches.
Oh, so
it's not enough time.
Could you do it on a smaller swatch?
I can do a swatch and do it, but that's what
okay. So what we want to see from Dinah is the Japanese short row at some point. Not to be tomorrow. At some point, and we want to see you fix the cable. When you come back from EYF, when she comes back, she'll show a little video of how she fixes the cable.
Yeah,
that's almost like doing.
I mean, I have done it like on the Mayak sweaters that we've done.
Remember my?
Yes, for Lucy.
No,
the cable cardigan.
Well, that was easy to fix. But remember the Jared Flood one that I started for Daniel? I screwed up the cable.
Yeah,
and I said, "Well, I'm going to drop this down." It was a sleeve in the round, and boy,
it's tricky.
Well, that I just should have ripped out. It was just too many. It was more than once.
With this, I'm excited because it's different pattern stitches. It's not just one.
Not just the stockinette cable dropping down, right?
So, stay tuned. So, sound or no sound on those technical videos.
Well, that also leads us. We were talking before the podcast about Dinah was saying that she might want to do lights for the podcast.
New lights?
New lights.
Yes. Do we need lighting?
Well, and sound.
And a new microphone.
And a microphone. We don't use any of those things now.
No, I'm not very techy. So if you guys have any advice, please just, send it my way.
That's what, was it the gals that were here, Lori?
Yeah, Lori and Kate. They said that.
What they were asking what we use,
Right. They were so impressed that we were about to podcast. They're like, well, where's your studio? We're like, we podcast here. Where are your lights? There are no lights.
The lights are in the ceiling. Those are our lights. Which is why we look washed out.
Yes. No light.
Right? Anyway.
All right, you guys.
It's time to go.
That's a wrap.
Eat the cookies.
Yeah.
You have your coffee?
I do. Cheers.
We have our Dunkin'. Cheers, Dinah.
Time to run.
We're going.
Happy knitting or crocheting. Till next time. Bye.